Why is the world green? Have you ever wondered why our world is green? Why are there so many plants covering the land, and why are they not eaten by herbivores? This is a fascinating question that has puzzled scientists for a long time. The question of why the world is green was first posed by Charles Darwin in his book On the Origin of Species. He observed that plants are the primary producers of organic matter, and that they support a large number of herbivores, which in turn are preyed upon by carnivores. He wondered how plants could survive this constant pressure from herbivores, and what factors limit their population growth. One of the first attempts to answer this question was made by Nelson Hairston and his colleagues in 1960. They proposed the green world hypothesis, which states that predators keep herbivores in check, allowing plants to flourish. According to this hypothesis, the world is green because of top-down control, where higher trophic levels regulate lower ones. However, this hypothesis has some flaws. For one thing, it assumes that herbivores are always limited by predators, and that plants are always limited by herbivores. But this is not always the case. Sometimes, herbivores are limited by other factors, such as food quality, disease, or competition. And sometimes, plants are limited by other factors, such as light, water, nutrients, or disturbance. These factors are examples of bottom-up control, where lower trophic levels regulate higher ones. Another issue with the green world hypothesis is that it does not account for the diversity and complexity of ecological interactions. For example, some predators may have positive effects on plants by reducing herbivore damage, but others may have negative effects by disturbing or damaging plants themselves. Some herbivores may have negative effects on plants by consuming them, but others may have positive effects by dispersing seeds or pollinating flowers. Some plants may have defenses against herbivores, such as spines, toxins, or mutualists, but others may be more palatable or nutritious. And some plants may compete with each other for resources, but others may facilitate each other by providing shade, nutrients, or protection. Therefore, the question of why the world is green is not so simple to answer. It depends on the context and the scale of observation. In some cases, top-down processes may dominate, and in others, bottom-up processes may prevail. And in many cases, both processes may interact and influence each other. In the Scottish Highlands, researchers have found that in the absence of large predators, such as wolves and lynx, red deer populations prevent forest regeneration by browsing on tree saplings, leaving only grasses, heather, and bracken fern. Subsequent fencing to prevent grazing and browsing by red deer, or intensive culling to mimic predation has resulted in woodland recovery, suggesting the importance of top-down control by predators. In Venezuela, John Terborg conducted experiments on isolated islands in a man-made reservoir to see how the vegetation was responding to herbivory under the presence or absence of predators. He found that leafcutter ants were more abundant and active on small islands than on large islands or mainland forests. This was because small islands lacked predators of ants, such as armadillos, anteaters, and insectivorous birds. As a result, leafcutter ants had a stronger impact on plant communities on small islands than on large islands or mainland forests. Terborg and his colleagues compared the vegetation plots on small, medium, and large land masses and found that stem densities were significantly reduced on small islands, especially among the saplings. They also found that preferred plant species were underrepresented on small islands, while less preferred species were overrepresented. This suggests that leafcutter ants, unchecked by predators, can alter the structure and composition of plant communities by selectively removing certain plant species. In Isle Royale National Park in Michigan, researchers have monitored the interactions between wolves and moose for over 60 years. They found that wolves hunt moose more intensively when food is scarce, which reduces the moose population and allows balsam fir trees to grow. When food is abundant, wolves hunt moose less frequently, which increases the moose population and reduces balsam fir trees. These examples show that top-down processes can have a significant impact on plant communities and ecosystem functioning. However, bottom-up processes are also important. For instance, plants can use physical defenses, such as spines, thorns, or hairs, to deter herbivores from eating them. They can also use chemical defenses, such as toxins, repellents, or attractants, to affect the behavior or physiology of herbivores. Some plants can even communicate with each other or with other organisms through chemical signals, to warn them of herbivore attacks or to recruit allies. For example, acacia trees in Africa have developed a mutualistic relationship with ants. The trees provide food and shelter for the ants, and the ants protect the trees from herbivores, such as giraffes and elephants. When the trees sense herbivore damage, they release a chemical signal that alerts the ants, which then swarm and bite the herbivores, forcing them to retreat. Another example is tobacco plants, which can produce nicotine, a toxic compound that put off most herbivores. However, some herbivores, such as tobacco hornworm caterpillars, can tolerate nicotine and feed on the plants. When the plants detect caterpillar damage, they release a chemical signal that attracts predatory wasps, which then parasitize and kill the caterpillars. These examples show that bottom-up processes can also have a significant impact on plant communities and ecosystem functioning. However, these processes are not independent of each other. Predators can affect the evolution of plant defenses, and plant defenses can affect the evolution of herbivore traits. Predators and plants can have indirect effects on each other through their interactions with herbivores. In summary, the world is green because of a complex interplay of top-down and bottom-up processes in terrestrial vegetation ecology. If you liked this video, please consider subscribing to our channel for more content like this.